Hey guys, this is Jamie. So, sorry for a bit of delayed upload, but anyway, here we go. So, today I want to talk about specifically about right wing politics and what inspired me, I guess, was the sudden sort of not just Portuguese push to the right, but the fact that I want to really address that I feel like right wing politics have taken sort of a different identity. I'm not trying to say that right wing politics were ever sort of more humane, I guess, just to put it in a subtle form. But before you could argue, like, oh, like, do you think that economically, like, we need to have more like corporations, like with less tax, different tax brackets, less inputs into um, systems like medical care, less tax, and more freedom for the market and stuff like that. And obviously, but right now, I feel like people, specifically, there is a fair majority of people who vote specifically for right wing candidates thinking, oh, this will fix the economy. I will get a higher salary. I will get less tax. The price of eggs, for instance, is going to go down. And in the end, they don't really realize that all they could have done is just read what the politician is really about. And you have that, for instance, in Brazil, you have a lot of people which voted for Bolsonaro without properly understanding that voting for him is actually voting for proper hatred. And then you have a lot of like Brazilians which, for instance, voted for the alt-right here in Portugal, which is Chega, which is also against Brazilians, which is something that you see like in the US, where you had a lot of Latinos voting for Trump without realizing that they will be the ones to be deported by ICE, for instance. And in general, I just hate the fact that we live in a world where people think that if you have a certain trait or a thing that you were born with, like your nationality, your race, gender, sexuality, that makes you better than the rest. And for that random trait that you got, you are inherently better than everyone else. And that is such a despicable thing that I just do not understand. Like, there is nothing that makes you better than someone else, just where you're born, religion, gender, sexuality, race. Like, it doesn't make you better than anyone else if to just look at those qualities. And now right-wing politicians specifically go into these things. They don't care about the economy factually. They just go with this idea of politicizing different fights between different populations or different categories. And people don't understand that because this gets them the clouds, this gets them the views, this gets them the votes, that is what they'll be focusing on. It's much harder to fix a broken economy than it is to do a tweet about a ceasefire. And in general, like, we have this absolute performance of politics. Like, we've had it for a long while in the US, but right now it's getting even worse with Trump, like, tweeting about the ceasefire, which is absolutely insane, without talking to Iran or talking to Israel. And because of these identity politics, because of this idea that you're superior for voting for Trump or for being white, then people sort of go into this whole idea that they need to be defending this person rather than defending like the policies or the party. It becomes a sort of like, in this case, not vote blue no matter who, because it's obviously Democrat, but vote sort of Donald Trump no matter what he says and support whatever he says. And I mean, I'm not even going into critical thinking. But it's absolutely bizarre that we just go into this idea of people just supporting whatever nonsense. And then you have sort of the people who voted thinking that the economy is going to go better, and then it goes into, okay, but do you support ICE? And it's like, I don't know, why would anyone support supporting people? And on top of that, you have sort of the people which get disappointed, like, how could I not know this? Or like, I thought he would only ditch the bad immigrants or the bad illegal aliens, whatever. And then the people who actually support that. And I honestly don't know, like, everyone who voted or sort of whether they were aware or not is a fucking horrific human being, actually. And then you have that, for instance, like in the Portuguese politics right now, they're discussing to sort of increase citizenship from 5 years to 7 for Brazilian, 10 for everyone who is not like from a Portuguese speaking colony. And that is absolutely devastating, and it's like the bureaucracy is already quite insane. And sure, I will only have to wait a few more years, but it's still like, I can't change my name because my birth country doesn't allow it, and to change it in Portugal I need the passport, and it's a whole mess. So it's really annoying, and as well, like, I just don't want to have Lithuanian citizenship because I don't live there, I don't plan on going there, I don't even visit, and I've been here for many years. I want to stay here. Like, I finished university, I'm doing my internship, I'm doing stuff, so it's like, Christ. So yeah. And these people are like, oh, we're doing this so the Brazilians don't, like, go to Portugal and then get a EU passport and fuck off. And it's like, but how many Brazilians are actually doing this? And if it was about the Brazilians, you're only increasing the Brazilian the residency requirements to 7 years and not 10. And yeah, it's just a whole mess. And again, like, people were voting for like PSD and others for specifically like economical things. And in the end, what we have now is we have strikes everywhere, we don't have any raises in salaries, we have cutting different things, and now this insane thing and rise of right-wing attacks. And specifically after the country goes and riots, raises awareness about the neo-Nazi attacks, they just make even more hatred into the governments and bring it into the parliaments so that more people can be racist and everything. So it's a whole mess. And people don't understand that when you vote for right-wing politicians, to put it very mildly, you're voting for all of this to take place. So voting for right-wing politicians means factually you're voting for someone to dehumanize other people. And I feel like at this point we've reached a point where factually if you don't vote left-wing, like, you might as well just not be human, you know? And in general, we have this desensitization when it comes to people. Like, people obviously, a lot of Mormons gravitate towards AI in the hope that sort of it makes life easier, but in reality it just erases human traits, it erases sort of the compassion, the critical thinking, and people just don't understand that if you sit there doing nothing, what's the point? So yeah, anyway, we live in very grim times. Obviously, the whole Israel-Iran thing is insane. On top of that, Trump's idea of sort of bringing peace through tweets or through social. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. So yeah, I know that probably the people who watch this understand that you need to vote for left-wing candidates for sure. And I just wanted to sort of shed light on this fact that you shouldn't be thinking of other candidates at this point. And yeah, we're pretty much fucked. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll try to stay on the schedule. I've just been really distressed about the politics in the world and everything. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe. Feel free to drop a like, drop a comment if you feel like it. Feel free to share it with your friends. I'm a right winger. Thank you very much.